Hi everyone, so we just want to welcome you to our online course titled Prenatal Pelvic Health, Pelvic Floor and Core Basics. And I think Eryn and I developed this course because we saw a need in our community, and we assumed that other communities elsewhere also had a need for this. But a lot of our patients were coming in to learn about birthing either before delivery, or they'd come in after and we'd tell them all this information that they could have learned. And there was always this sentiment, why didn't anyone tell me about this? And that I wish that I knew all of this information before I gave birth. So in our careers, we saw that not everyone has access to a pelvic floor physiotherapist, and it can be quite helpful to learn some of the little tidbits that we might know.
And I think that it's Eryn chiming in. I think that typical, a lot of labor and birthing courses that you might get at, say, like the hospital or in a prenatal class don't have a specific focus on the core and the pelvic floor. And oftentimes that's a huge worry for moms as they start to approach birth and giving birth to a baby. And as Katie said, we always have people coming to us afterwards saying, why didn't anybody tell me about this? Or exactly like she said, I wish I'd known this. And so we really wanted to provide something that was accessible and affordable to help support confident and strong moms as they approach their birth and their delivery. There's also strong evidence suggesting that when women can receive this education prior to birth, it helps improve their recovery with respect to their core and pelvic floor. It helps reduce pelvic floor dysfunction, and it actually helps improve quality of life following childbirth. So in our opinion, those are pretty good reasons to help make this course.
Absolutely. So Eryn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Eryn Matheson, and I'm a physiotherapist for pretty much 10 years. I graduated from the University of Toronto, but I am a born and bred Prince Edward Island girl. I grew up in the Maritimes, and I quickly came back to the Maritimes after I finished school. I started my career in orthopedic physiotherapy, so think of your typical, low back injury, hip injury, knee injuries. And I met Katie in 2014. I had a lot of patients who I was getting back to high level, running, I call weekend warriors, so high level activity, and everybody was leaking. And I kept saying, what the heck is going on? And Katie, who is my pelvic health guru at the time, said, you need to do your pelvic health training. And so 5 years later, here we are. Anyways, I'm really passionate as I've moved into treating more women's health patients, really seeing how much the pelvic floor and core play a huge role in orthopedic conditions as well. And obviously I became a mom myself in that time. And so having, my own story basically about labor and delivery has really ignited my passion to help women as they move through this time in their life and help them reach their goals.
And I'm Katie Kelly. I'm a physiotherapist as well. And same as Eryn, it's going on 10 years now that I've been working as a physiotherapist. I started out doing half orthopedics and half pelvic health. Well, it was called women's health back in the day. But pelvic health, right out of university. I went to Dalhousie in Halifax. And I was lucky enough to start under a pelvic floor physiotherapist for my first job. So I had a lot of on-the-job training. And then when it was time to start my own family, I moved back to New Brunswick, where I was born and raised. And there was a need here for pelvic floor physiotherapy, so that's what I got into. And recently I've gone out on my own practice, and we started to have so much business, I had to call Eryn up and beg her to come please partner with me. She has now become our resident prenatal, postnatal, exercise, fitness, return to exercise guru here. So I think we've partnered up really well. And as we said before, we're just really excited to be offering something online that gives expecting mothers the chance to be educated from the comfort of their own couch if they like. So we're hoping that this course will help to do that.
Yeah, and so when we designed this course, we really thought about what do we want to equip moms with? And we thought about, what we wanted to include, and we really want to make sure that moms by the end of this course have the knowledge and strategies that will help them approach their birth with confidence and also that supports and prepares their core and pelvic floor for a strong birth and recovery. So we're going to try to help you out as much as we can during this course to help you get ready during pregnancy. So have a great, healthy, strong pregnancy, and then prepare your core and pelvic floor for birth. And we also have a great module at the end that's going to help you start a transition to postpartum. We know there's tons of courses out there that kind of cover that postpartum period, but we really think we're filling in that gap. And we've also included, because Katie's done a lot of work on C-section, we have some great modules that help out the C-section mama, which sometimes you don't know if you're going to end up in a C-section. So we wanted to include that for everyone so that everyone has access to that knowledge and support.
Yeah, so as Eryn said, I think what we saw in a lot of the, classic prepare to push courses was that they were all aimed at vaginal deliveries. But we know about 30% of deliveries are cesarean now, and a large percentage of those, can be planned, or the alternative is that they're an emergency C-section. So you might be going in thinking that you're going to have a vaginal delivery, and in that case you still have access to these modules. You can watch them immediately after delivery to see the C-section information. But because we do see such a large number of repeat cesareans, it gives women the opportunity to prepare for a cesarean section, because in my opinion that birth is just as valid and has just as many risk factors and not, I don't say injuries, but have dysfunctions that should have support and rehabilitation. And sometimes they're glossed over because it's not a vaginal delivery. So we want to offer both of those streams of education for women.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because so many times when it's an emergency C-section, you pretty much go through a vaginal birth other than just the actual birthing. So you have everything that's happened during the vaginal birth, and then you go into a C-section and have major surgery. So I think a lot of times it's unexpected. So really good point.
Right. So our online learning modules, when you download the course and you see how they're set up, you'll be able to choose which modules you want to cover. We obviously recommend doing all of them, but it certainly can be a choose your own adventure if you like. But the topics that are included are body and tissue changes during pregnancy, core and pelvic floor basics, types of births, where we walk you through the different types of vaginal deliveries and the different types of cesarean deliveries, prepare your core and pelvic floor for birth, special considerations for vaginal birth, and that includes things like how to relax your pelvic floor, so stretches for pelvic floor muscle relaxation, perineal massage, different types of laboring positions, different types of pushing positions, and then we have a stream of education for cesarean births, and that discusses potential nausea and vomiting, positions for recovery. We talk about how to manage your wound and care for the incision, and then C-section scar massage after you've recovered. And then our final module is aimed at restoration and recovery, those first 2 weeks in the postpartum period, and what you can do to start restoring your core and pelvic floor. So we hope that you like this course, and feel free to send us an email or a message if you have any questions at all.
Yeah, at any time. So we hope you enjoy, and reach out if you have any questions.